Right. Well, welcome everybody. We have a very exciting stream today. I'm going to be crafting this beautiful +2 arrow spine bow that I have spent the last 24 hours getting crucibled up. Got pretty fortunate, about 30 divines and a lot of time. Managed to get 5 mods on here that are really good. They didn't all come out to the very highest tier, but fairly high tier overall. Quick note, I was informed by some of the community that unfortunately I could have allocated some of these points and leveled up the tree, at least for like the base that had, say, the first 3 rows with perfect tiers. I should have at least allocated those first. Apparently it's always been like that. People have known. I did some research. I didn't realize it. Apparently I missed that. Slipped under the radar. Unfortunate for me, and didn't mention it in the previous video where I talked about how I did this craft. But if you allocate the points and actually level them up prior to slamming, it increases the chances of them being chosen. I don't know by how much, but also I could have scoured this node off of the split slam and had a higher chance of getting the tier 5 fizz, so I didn't know that. And apparently there is a primordial remnant explicit modifier that gives you even more chance at successfully targeting the mods that you have allocated. I don't know. Again, I don't know about how much. I did discover it's 1.7 divines in there, so apparently it has some effect because it essentially drove up the cost of that remnant by a full divine orb. So obviously it has some effect and would have been obviously worth doing regardless of how much impact it did because of the degree of stakes that there were in that slam. So admittedly, I made some mistakes or just neglected to do a few things. Fortunately, came out pretty lucky anyway. And, you know, at least I can inform you guys now after the fact. So, first thing I got to do is make it rare. All right, it's rare. Now, you can see I am ready to go. What we're going to be doing here is deafening essences of contempt until I hit either tier 1 or tier 2% fizz. I'm going to settle for tier 2 because I went on Craft of Exile and saw that the weighting was essentially 1 in 1500 to hit tier 1% fizz, or about 1 in 500 to hit tier 1 or tier 2. And 1 in 1500 is about 45 divines, 1 in 500 is about 15 divines, and I'm not really willing to spend another 45 divines just to hit this. Plus, it's going to come out dirty, and I have to annul the likely to exist third prefix that will be there. But it's going to be pretty easy to craft this. I just have to hit the percent fizz with an open prefix and 1 open suffix, and then I'm going to be able to augment chaos. Very, very interesting, very fortunate process in the craft. We can deterministically get tier 1, the only tier of flat chaos on this bow. So I do not have to hit triple tier 1 physical prefixes. Incidentally, if I plug in triple T1 prefixes, it comes out to about the same DPS as the flat chaos roll, interestingly enough. And fortunately, we have increased explicit physical and chaos damage modifiers, magnitudes. The suffixes we'll get to later on. They will feature likely a attack speed roll and a chaos dot multi roll that will also be driven up by this here. And I think it's going to make for a really nice poison tornado shot bow. Percent fizz as a regular one, you know, the big roll. All right, so let's get to it. Here we go. It begins. I'll have to check here in a second here. Can't remember exactly. Wow, the numbers are way higher. Let me wait until I see it come out, and then I'll make sure to check for it in the search. I can't remember exactly how it reads. There it is. Percent increased physical damage. Okay, so I need to do this. Percent increased. Need a space there. Physical. All right. So this means I'm going to see. So I'm automatically going to see percent physical or hybrid. I got 300. It's going to take an average of 500. So I may have to buy some more essences. I got a little bit of currency on standby, so should be good. Ooh, 20%. Wow. 36. Okay. Now we're good. go back to this. So basically another round of 300-ish essences. Percent increased physical. Round 2. We hit tier 2. We just hit tier 2. Okay. So we've hit tier 3, and now we hit tier 2. And this is in a short time. I see I got the tier 2 right here. And I have this filled up all 6 sockets. Now, this is a problem here. This is a double annul. Yeah, I got to annul lightning damage and one of the suffixes off to make this work. So, kind of, in a way, I'm kind of happy that I didn't hit one. Let's see here. Oh, there went my flat lightning, or flat fizz. So that didn't work. All right. Oh, well. $28. 63. 51. 171 is tier 3. Damn. It's a high tier 3. Wow. And of course it came out totally clean again. Completely clean. One open prefix, one open suffix. I can't believe that shit. Oh, man. Feels bad. If I didn't have such a good crucible tree, I'd probably take that. You guys should think about taking tier 3 in that situation. I mean, if it's completely clean, like it's already done. Yeah, what a troll. No kidding. It's alright. 118. 25. 110. What? Tier 2. Clean. Tier 2 clean. There it is. Tyrannical. 2 prefixes, 2 suffixes. It's done. Basically, that was 6 essences left. This took me about 600 essences. Yeah, I thought it was tier 1, but it rolled... No, it's tier 2. It's so hard to tell with the thing. Okay. Now, we got this part done. That was the hard part. There are a couple options here after the next step. So let's do the next step. The next step is very simple. This is the most interesting part of this craft that people probably aren't aware of. Prefixes cannot be changed. Now it is 3 suffixes, 2 prefixes. And what a lot of people do not know, probably, is that you can, it says here, add a new chaos modifier and remove another random modifier in a non-influenced item. Now, I've never actually done this in game, but anytime I use the Craft of Exile website, it's obvious that it adds a modifier, then removes the modifier. So if it does that, what has to happen? Well, it has to roll the tier 1 only tier chaos flat roll. It has no other choice but to put tier 1 flat chaos as a prefix on this, and then it's going to rip a mod off. But it cannot rip a prefix off because it has prefixes cannot be changed. Guaranteed success. Completely deterministic here. And if I may even get extra lucky because it's either going to rip off the bleeding or the prefixes cannot be changed. If it rips off the bleeding, I save 2 divines. Even then, because then, I still got to finish the suffixes. So here we go. Let's do it. Okay. I didn't get lucky, but there it is. It's done. You see it right there. Chaos, flat chaos. Malicious, tier 1. It only has 1 tier. By the way, the flat chaos roll in comparison to the tiers of the elemental rolls is like a tier 3 or tier 2 elemental roll. It's a pretty high roll. It's not, absolute max, but in a certain context, chaos damage is normally less than elemental damage anyway, so it really, in that sense, it really is a tier 1 roll. Pretty amazing prefixes there for a poison tornado shot that we have here. So, now... top end fizz damage. Yeah, came out pretty well. I don't know if I'm gonna... I'll probably, at least at some point, I'll divine this. But here is where it gets a little interesting. What do you guys think I should do here in the chat? Should I Eye-Sling or should I Veil Chaos? My way to victory here. I want, on the suffixes, I'd really like to have Chaos.multi and attack speed. Don't veil. Aisling do not. But how much does Aisling cost these days? Don't forget to block. Yes, don't forget to block. We do have to block. The block is charge. That I don't have unlocked yet. Wait, I may have it. Well, looks like I need to unveil a few weapons. Crafting takes time. Takes a little bit of time. Alright, we're just going to put that right here for now. No, I'm going to unveil it because I'm going to do it over and over again. Alright, don't forget to block, obviously. Okay, we're back now. I had to find a charge suffix so I could block successfully. And if we go in here, we can see I have unlocked endurance charge. Wow, I have to pay 3 chaos for this. What a ripoff. So if I bench this, it includes blocking the frenzy as well as power charge, and that combination of those 3 has the highest weighting of anything it can land. So this is the best way to block suffixes. Now, in my opinion, the best thing to hit here would be chaos damage. I think it's strength, intelligence with attack speed would also be pretty good. But either way, it'd probably be nice. Really hoping for chaos.multi though. Physical.multi. Not good enough. Strength and dex stuff. Okay, well, that's another 4 divines. Alright, I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to do 2 divines to clean it. I'm going to do 2 more divines to get ready for Aisling, and then do 2 more divines to Aisling. So it's basically 6 divines for each attempt. That's okay.
Keep your eyes sharp.
We're already pushing 100 divines anyway, so. Whoop. Plus 3C, yeah, plus 3C, thank you. I have a decent chance of hitting this. Got another Aisling. Charge, alright, put that on. There are a lot of suffixes to choose from those, it's kind of a problem. Here we go, that's not good. Increase attack speed while rare or unique enemy is nearby. Some people may not know, that's a global attack speed mod, that's not local, so sadly, once again, not good enough. We're so close to finished. You can taste it. You can taste the end. And I only have 4 to... This is it. I have to actually, like, sell some stuff. Well, I mean, I have a bunch of chaos, I guess. It'll happen next time because I ran out of currency. It'll happen next time, I promise. One more chance. One more. That's rough, though. I gotta spend so much. Yeah, I mean... Veil Chaos is only 1/3 of the cost. And this is kind of expensive to keep doing this. Veiling it, I'm blocking. So, we're gonna block... This was my own Aisling, so I have the streamer RNG deeply embedded into this next attempt here. And I also unlocked Frenzy Charge, so I'm going to try different charge blocking too. So, I mean, it's just all kinds of juju in my favor here for this unveil. Definitely we're going to see chaos.multi. You can count on that. No. This is... I've seen this one like 2 or 3 times in a row. This is the rarest unveil. Like, it's really, really rare. Choose spell so you can annul. I'm just going to start using Veil Chaos Orbs anyway. No, I'm going to start using Veil Chaos Orbs because we figured out that it's not even... It's actually worth the risk, like, currency-wise. Plus the fact that this is a tier 2 and not tier 1. So, yeah. And it's been, I don't know if you guys noticed, it's been incredibly time-consuming. If you, like, check the clocks in between these attempts, a lot of time has gone by. So, I'm just going to straight up Veil Chaos Orb Slam. This is about, I think I heard Spicy Sushi actually say this before, 8% chance to, when you use a Veil Chaos Orb, that it fills all 6 modifiers. And that would have to happen in order to brick the item. However, it doesn't actually brick the item. All it does is it makes me have to annul, and essentially I have a 3 out of 5 success rate on the annul because I want to annul either suffix, which is good, or I can even annul the chaos roll because I can just re-augment it on there. Like, no problem. It would not be the best outcome, but it would be a, an in-between outcome that would be fine. No problem. Even if I have to re-annul chaos. So essentially like a 50% chance. So that would drive an 8% all the way down to about 4% chance. Basically a 4% chance of absolutely bricking the item to the point where I have to re-essence them, which even that's not the end of the world because who knows, I might re-essence with tier 1 next time. And then Eisling is costing me 6 divines each attempt and a lot of minutes, whereas a Veil Chaos Orb only costs essentially 2 divines. Assuming that it works. We have to double check that it works here. So I think if it allows me to do this... Yeah, Eisling is 6 divines because first, to do Eisling, I have to do this. Then I would have to scour, recraft it, that's 4. Then I gotta pay somebody 2 divines, that's 6. Whereas in this case, all I do... Assuming this works, which it did work, and that came out clean. That's only 2 for each attempt. Well, I need to scour it because it would... For Eisling, I need to scour it, not for this. So, I actually regret not just doing this. Mainly for the time, more than anything, and the headache of, having to use TFT and all that stuff. So, this is obviously much faster. Oh, I need to go back and get Varici, actually. Right, let's see here. Risk is that it gives you... Well, I mean, it's fine. Oh. Looks like Veil Chaos Orb was the lucky one. By the way, you see that says 28%? Watch this. It's not actually 28%. It's 32%. Ha! Ha ha ha. Ha. 15% increase explicit physical and chaos type. My friends, we have a seriously good item here. It took 4 tries. Essentially took me like around a little over 20 divines to finish these suffixes, but I didn't brick anything, so that's fine. So it's done. Did you make the Crucible tree yourself? Yes. Hold on, I have a Varici down here. Just for style points, I'm going to try to hit one. I actually want to hit 1 white socket. And yes, I have agreed to give somebody the flask for half of a thing. I don't want more than one white socket because I need 5 green for the accuracy mastery. Booyah. Alright, now that is a stylish bow there. The white is for the blue, the blue one here, Unbound Ailments. Now I feel good. Look at that. Massive style. Such style. Many points. Much style. Look at that. Alright. Here we go. Crazy Zerfies, yeah. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to drop us down to Craft of Exile. Let's start with the Quiver. This is my Quiver. I've already populated it in Craft of Exile in the emulator. So, as you can see, it's a very high Quiver. I got the heavy arrow Quiver base with projectile speed, nearly perfect roll. Fractured, I kind of knew I wanted to do this one. You can do the double projectile speed is not bad, but the flat fizz does mean a lot, especially with dark score. Now, with the changeover to a much higher physical damage bow, maybe the projectile speed would be a little better. I don't know. But anyway, I'm obviously just going to stick with this for a while because it's incredible. It's almost all tier 1. It just has a tier 3 increased damage with bow skills. Incidentally, it can only roll tier 2 anyway because that's an 86 plus. So this bow doesn't require a very high item level to hit, except for tier 1 damage with bow skills. In my opinion, it's not worth fretting over super high base. I think you only need like item level 80 or something like that to get a very good bow otherwise. So how did I craft this? Let's go ahead and scour it so we can start from the top. What I did to craft mine is actually not what I recommend to get this. I just alt spammed until I hit tier 1. Let's see, I think I actually might have hit that there. Let's open this up. Oh dear, that's a lot of RAM. Okay. we got a lot of RAM. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Let's get a little more RAM back into this. Okay, so this is tier 3 physical damage to attacks, but I don't actually want that one. No. So here is how I did it. I alt spammed until I hit this. I was willing to accept tier 2. And then I regaled until I hit +1 arrow. It's roughly a 1 in 400 chance. And that's not counting all the alterations you got to do to keep hitting this over and over again. I hit it in 2 tries. I got exceptionally lucky. That's not the proper method. It's obviously the best method if it works, because then it comes out perfectly clean. So there's that. But anyway, let's just go ahead and plug it in. I'm going to show you guys my actual recommended method here in a second. So I had a quiver that looks like this, and if you have a quiver that looks like this, you're basically done. You're home free. By far the hardest part is done. It needs to be clean exactly like this, because ultimately you're going to put cannot roll attack modifiers. Well, I'll craft it down here, right? Cannot roll attack modifiers. There we go. And it's basically Exalt Slam to victory. There's only 2 things you can roll, and they're the 2 things you want. Max life. In my case, I wanted tier 3 or above. I kept hitting a low tier, and then I hit tier 1 eventually. Oh, can't read. What do you mean you can't read? You should be able to read. Sorry if you can't read. I think it'll come out fine on the YouTube. And... oh. Looks like I blooped there. Sorry. Don't do that one. Do this one. Let's try that again. All right. Okay, that hit tier 7. That's no good. So if I hit this, I'm going to annul. Oh, I annulled this. Well, that's another divine down the drain. All right, try annul again. Okay, there we go. And then Exalt Slam back again. Tier 5 bow damage. I don't know. I guess that's okay, but yeah, it's pretty bad. I think I would actually probably annul and pay another divine. There we go. Do that. Nope. Not doing that low of life. Annul. All right. Lucky. Still not high enough. Okay, that's the highest bow damage. Now this next Exalt Slam, crossing my fingers, hoping for tier 1 life. I got tier 7. All right, annul. Oh, that's too bad. Annul. Hey, nice. Okay, I get to keep the % damage here. Another shot at the high tier life. Okay, tier 3 life. I would have absolutely accepted this, and you can see it would have taken me roughly, not counting the beginning stages of this, which would be super time consuming. The final phase of this would have cost me around 5 divines. And, you know, assuming I didn't mess up with the cannot roll caster. This is pretty good. I mean, it's just as good as mine, basically. It's just, I mean, it's tier 2 and tier 3. It's basically the same value. So, that is one way to craft this. Definitely not the best way, in my opinion. Another way would be, I recommended before, would be Contempt and, you know, Deafening, or let's say you're kind of a cheapskate and you're going to do Shrieking Essences of Contempt. You're basically spamming essences until you hit +1 arrow. It's an average of 100 essences, I think. I think it was 100, or maybe it was 200. I can't remember. Certainly way less time consuming, but eventually you're just going to hit it. It's going to be on there. Oh, did I hit it a second ago? Really? Oh, really? That's crazy. Oh, there it is. Oh, I just lost it because I accidentally rolled over. Oh, well. Yeah, you're right. I did see it there a second ago. I don't know. Let's say, for example, we have it like this here. So, I mean, I don't know. Streamer RNG, hit it on third try. It's not going to happen to you. Very unlikely. We're going to go back up here and put bow attacks, fire additional arrows. So, it's likely to look something like this, right? Now, this is actually a great outcome because in this particular case, in this very special case, or no, sorry, not in this special. I don't have room for suffixes. Cancel that. So there's only one thing we could do in this case, and it is try to YOLO annul cold resist off. All right, you know, just plug into the streamer RNG and just do it like that, and you'll be fine. And once again, we're exactly where I want to be. This essence mod still counts as attack mod, so once again, I would, you know, go down here. Can I roll attack mods? And boom, boom. Except that life roll is not very good. All right, now, that I still don't recommend that method. I think now, probably now at this point, the best thing to do would be a different base. Again, you can either go for the projectile speed or the flat fizz base. I do not recommend attack speed because that's just going to be diluted from Soul Eater anyway. We're going to go offhands, quiver, heavy arrow quiver. You're probably not going to get 86 fractured. And let's see here. Where is it at? So, we're going to find the suffix. Additional arrow. Fracture. Okay. Likely this is the base you're going to want to start with here. Now, this is an intriguing angle to craft. This base will cost a lot more, but especially at this point in the league, there's going to be plenty of these available. Again, it doesn't have to be heavy arrow quiver. It could be a different base. If you find one that's way, way cheaper that's still decent, like blunt arrow quiver, for example, fine. You know, maybe do that. Because it might be worth paying, you know, an enormous discount for a better base for you. You'll have to figure that out on your own. But we have essence modifiers, and we can put projectile speed, and we can get the same roll. I thought it was higher than this. The tier 1 projectile speed. Anyway, I guess maybe it's not. I guess it's the same roll. Or maybe it is here actually. Maybe it's speed. Which one is that? I do not remember. Zeal. Okay. No, it's not Zeal. Where is it? Oh, it's a purple one, isn't it? Ah, there it is. Of Dread. Okay. There we go. So, in this case, I am going for the opposite scenario. I'm going for flat fizz, damage to attacks, and I'm just going to keep spamming this until I hit tier 1 or tier 2 flat damage with attacks, right? That's the best I can do. Even though it's hitting life, you know, at some point I really want that high tier flat fizz roll on there. It's tier 7, so that's not going to work, but, you know, oh, okay, again, streamer RNG plugin. And I hit tier 1 physical damage to attacks. It's actually fairly common hit. This is a pretty high weighting, the fizz damage to attacks. So it won't take all that long, to be honest. Now, once again, you have to annul the cold off, just like that. And then, once again, you're going to bench I love seeing you guys' comments. Where is it at here? I need to go crafted. There we go. Cannot roll attack mods. Now, there's one major problem with this strategy. Everything has been super convenient with this method so far. The issue is that projectile speed is not an attack modifier. That means when it comes to the exalt annul phase, when you annul, you risk ripping off projectile speed. So if you do this route, you're probably going to have to settle for lower rolls of the life and percent damage. It would definitely be a cheaper or certainly less time-consuming craft, especially if you do it on a lower base. And yeah, I'd probably settle with this, honestly. Tier 4% bow and tier 6 life. I mean, I'd probably have to settle with that. Because if you don't, okay, this is what it's going to look like. Very risky. I got lucky. Projectile speed stayed on. Tier 3 life, tier 5 bow skills. I'll just prove it to you here that it will eventually rip off projectile speed, though. If we keep doing this long enough. Yeah, except streamer RNG is just too good, I guess. Ah, there, finally. Finally gone. All right. There it is. You saw me rip it off like that. It only took me about 8 tries to do it. And, you know, if you come to this point, well, you're starting over. You just got to start over. Sorry. Yeah, you basically just scour it and, you know, there you go. Your essence slamming dreads again. Right back to the drawing board. So there's advantages and disadvantages. I've now shown you 3 separate ways you can craft this quiver. So pretty respectable rolls. The way I did it is the safest way, most time consuming, and maybe the most expensive way to do it. But the way I just showed you here at the end is the fastest, most streamlined, and perhaps cheapest way, especially if you find a cheap base to do it. That is the quiver. Let's move on to the helmet. Here's the helmet that I crafted. Now, right off the bat, there's some flexibility here. You don't have to have specifically these prefixes. You don't even have to have specifically these suffixes. I like the idea of getting spell suppress because with the current build setup, I'm not taking Mage Bane. I'm a tiny bit under spell cap. Now, it's okay. I mean, we have this new mastery. It gives you spell suppress is lucky. So you can kind of rely on that anyway. It's a little bit of a wash. You know what? Honestly, I'm at a point where I'm looking at the potentially opening in a new aura, and I kind of wish I had done the essence aura for a new or for reservation efficiency. Now, I usually do that in previous leagues right here of loathing here, because that will come out. You'll see that I get the mana reservation efficiency of up to 10. So that would be nice, right? But anyway, it's very easy to find a base like this. You may need to use strength instead. You definitely want fracture. The point is you want fracture because this is going to be a Eldritch influenced helmet. So absolutely you should take advantage of the fracture. Also, there's a slight issue of, I don't know, for some reason this isn't showing the tornado shot enchant. You can buy a base that's pre-enchanted. It doesn't have to be Lion Pelt. It should be at least 84, item level 84 to hit the top tier resist. But in previous leagues, I've used really quirky things like I fractured a perfectly rolled Janus Veiled mod and then started from there. But in this case, this particular league, I really need the resistances. For one reason or another, I need the resistances on there, even with the Ventor's Gamble. Because I'm not using 2 Ventor's Gambles, is the reason why that is. And so, you know, I could be using 2 Ventor's Gambles. It would open up some suffixes on the helmet. But anyway, I'm going for Cold and Lightning because I basically get 48% fire res on my boot. So it works out really nice. Once you get Headhunter on, it works out really nice needing these 2. So this is great for my Poison Tornado Shot build at its current gearing threshold. I may switch the helmet later on. But anyway, the way I crafted this was... Yeah, I just go through all that to let you know there's obviously a lot of different possible things you can do there. We're going to go with essences, and it doesn't really matter which one. Just pick the cheaper one, whether it's Wrath or Hatred. One or the other is going to be cheaper. I think Hatred's actually cheaper. And all you have to do is Keep spamming this until you hit the tier 1 other resistance. It doesn't even have to be lightning. It can be fire because you can swap the resistances of the same tier through the crafting base. You could settle for tier 2, but I mean, this is so cheap. I see no reason why I should settle for less than tier 1. You could go for tier 1 chaos res too. I just hit that right there. If you really, really, really need the chaos res help, you might do that. But then I don't know what you're going to do about the other lightning res either. So that's kind of tricky. Although this would actually be a nice setup if you were using Bisco's Leash, because you get cold res from Bisco's Leash, and then I would swap the cold for fire. But I'd be missing strength because I don't have a headhunter. So I mean, there's all kinds of ramifications there. Anyway, we'll just go with this, and let's say this is what we have. We hit the tier 1. I'm just going to pretend we hit the tier 1 and that we harvest swap it from fire over to this. And boom, the suffixes are done. Now, it's very easy to finish this. So we're just going to do Eldritch Crafting. I think Searing Exarch needs to be dominant, so you can just have one Searing Exarch mod, or... Actually, it's kind of awkward because I have to... Yeah, I have to make Searing Exarch dominant here. So I have to rip off that Eater of Worlds mod. Alright, so if you spam Eldritch Chaos Orbs, it's kind of expensive, but you can, try to hit something. Most people who are really good at crafting, what they do is they just keep annulling and exalting. And the reason they do this is because you can, before each time, you can bench to block. It either needs to be percent evasion or flat evasion. I think they have the same weighting, if I'm not mistaken. So I go in here, I go to crafted, and I did this. I did what I'm about to show you here. Evasion, where is it? Energy shield, what? This is the one I did right here. Yeah, I did this here. Exalt. And maximum life is a super common roll. I'm hoping to get tier 1 max life or tier 1 rarity or something like that. But I didn't. So I would manually remove the craft and annul. And then I put the craft back on and exalt. And who would have seen that coming? One more time. Okay, I was going to say, if I got tier 1 rarity on the second slam, I swear to God. Alright, so that's pretty garbage there. But, you might accept it anyway, or you might risk it. I would have risked this. I lost it. I can't believe it. So bad. Back to square one. Tier 3 rarity. Tier 2. This is pretty good. Pretty good. My helmet happened to have tier 1 hybrid life and evasion, and tier 1 rarity, so I benchcraft 70 life. But in this case, what I would benchcraft, the best case scenario, I think, is something like this. And we're going to bench AoE. +1 AoE. Where is that at here? That's not... we don't want projectile gems. That's not even good. This is how I would have finished this one. And that's done. Except, of course, the Eldritch implicit thing. Now, the Eldritch, basically, you're just using either Grands, I think at this point is probably smart. So let's say I had, 2 random of these. Neither of them are correct. Assuming that Grand is cheap, we're going to start with Eater, because that is what we're going to pull all the way up to 12% through the perfect thing here. Oh, interesting. I cannot manually put this in. Maybe. It might not let me show you unless I actually hit this. Well, for the sake of the guide, I would like to hit this so I can show the final last step of the final craft. We're almost out. Oh, there I hit it. Okay. Now, I believe if you set something like this, then you are at liberty to use... What? Orb of Conflict. There it is. These only drop off Maven, and it will raise the tier of one and lower the tier of the other. So we're hoping that I can, it's like a 50-50 every, but I think it may get lower weightings as you separate the numbers. So I'm not sure. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me. Does it matter what the numbers are? They're both tier 4 right now, but I don't think it matters what the numbers are. Anyway, we attempt to do that, and I had the wrong outcome, and that's really, really bad. I triple failed. I'm glad I could show you that, though, in here. So if you triple fail, it actually eventually just falls off completely, and you got to do it over again. In this case, we'll just go back to this. Oh, I lost it. I lost it in the ether. I'm pretty sure the lower tier has a higher chance of getting elevated. Yeah, it looks like my Twitch chat is actually in conflict of this. Anyway, okay, then I got 1 up. Now it's a little higher. Now it's tier 2. And I can't do it again because my Exarch side fell off. So, you know, just random Eldritch Ember and pray that you get up to tier 1. And nope, it failed. Went back up again. Failed. Up again. Failed. Up again. Failed. Failed, 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 up, 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 failed, up, up. As you can see, you're probably going to need to buy a few Orbs of Conflict to achieve this. But now the hard part's done. Grand Eldritch Ember spam until you hit damage with attacks or attack or area of effect can be nice, but we really need reduced attack cost for this one. I'm not going to bore you with trying to hit this again. Or, you know, I'll just streamer RNG it and hit it anyway. Helmet's done. This, I would have been satisfied with this helmet. Just need to get the tornado shot. Fires an additional, or splits an additional projectile. So tornado shots, all projectiles split 3 ways. If you have the enchant, it splits 4 ways. That's a lot of extra DPS, and you don't want to be missing that. Unfortunately, that's going to cost somewhere in the neighborhood of around 10 divines or something like that if you get a TFT lab service runner. I do not recommend trying to hit this enchant yourself. Absolute waste of time. Unless you are a dedicated lab runner, you don't want to be doing that. Only people who really know what they're doing, because you're competing in a market where everybody else really knows what they're doing, and they know exactly that. They have like all these bases, they benchmark. So unless you are a lab running guru, you should just probably pay somebody to do this. Anyway, that's it. Any questions? I think we'll just leave it to the comments in that case. That's it. That's how I crafted the helmet. You saw it in cuts, in real time with cuts, and then I just showed you through the Craft of Exile how I did the quiver and the helmet, and those are the only 3 crafts for my build. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, we have the comment section you can ask down below. Other than that, we're going to be moving on to some more farming videos with a brand new weapon. I wonder how much DPS increase there was. Well, we'll just have to wait for the next video to see how much more damage I got now.